Well, hey there. My name's Dave Dubeau, and I've got a podcast called the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast. I want to give a big shout out to the Costa Rica kid, Jamie Atkinson. I just really appreciate what he's doing around this whole podcast closing thing. In fact, when I first heard him get interviewed by somebody, I stopped everything I was doing and went, holy shit, this is brilliant. And then I consumed all things Jamie, and took massive action. And things are really starting to hum along. So I've got a booking page that looks a lot like Jamie's because it's basically a clone of exactly what he's doing. But what's more important are the results I'm getting very, very early into this process. So just to give you an idea, since starting to promote this, you can see all these different applications. We've had hundreds of applications come in for people that want to be on my podcast. And it has done an amazing job of filling up my calendar. So again, this is just a couple of weeks in, but the process is working amazingly well. What a night and day situation from what I was doing before. Before I was doing this, hell, I'll just even show you the calendar. If I'm looking back on my calendar, it's all hit and miss. These little red ones are I color code those. Those are sales opportunities. So not much going on. Most of these are kind of cold, not that great of leads. And then moving into when I started doing this podcast closing thing, then you see here, these ones here are all podcast interviews booked. Ding, 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 ding. 5 a day, Monday and Tuesday is what I'm doing. And then that sets up the sales conversations after that. So most of these sales conversations, as you see, these little smaller things are what were booked from these uh, podcast interviews. So ding, 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 all over the place. And then I do things a little bit differently. So I actually sell a consultation, which then leads into selling a high ticket item. So I was selling my consultation for $1,000 and spending a lot of time with people. Jamie gave me a smack upside the head on our onboarding call, so I automatically raised that to $1,500, and it's working even better. So that's great, and it'll go up from there. But the whole podcast closing idea just works so well. So that's last week's calendar. As I'm recording this right now, it's March the 6th. This is this week's calendar. So a lot of these are sales conversations from last week. Just closed that guy on a $1,500 consultation. Just followed up with this lady. She went from the consultation up to a $15,000 done for you service. So this stuff works, you guys. And again, you can just see it's so nice to have my calendar filled up with fantastic conversations. So the podcast interview is just very comfortable following the format that Jamie's laid out, and then the transition from that to getting people booked onto a follow-up call has been working exceptionally well for me. I haven't crunched the numbers exactly, but it's approximately 80% so far. It's supposed to be about 50%. I think I've got a higher level because at this moment, I'm just kind of reaching out to my warm network, people that are on my database. So they already have that pre-existing relationship, but it's still a very, very high percentage of people are very open to getting onto that next step. And then Jamie also helped me out with the wording for getting people closed on my consultation thing, which works way better than what I was doing before. So big hats off. If I had a hat to take off, I would, to Jamie and his team for all that they do. I'm just getting started with this, but it's already working like gangbusters. And my goal is to be the poster boy for Jamie and this whole podcast closing process. So Jamie, thanks, buddy.